How dare they play with my heart? How dare they turn my marriage, into a test I never agreed to? And this was only the beginning. Malik's confession hung in the air like smoke, thick, choking, impossible to ignore. I could feel something boiling inside me, something sharp and bitter, rising all the way to my throat. So that's what I was to you? I whispered. A test? A litmus paper experiment? Something you and Mom cooked up just to see if I was good enough for you? Aisha, no, Malik said, stepping toward me. It wasn't like that. I never wanted to hurt you. But after what I went through, I couldn't trust a woman who fell in love with promises instead of truth. I needed someone who would accept me without charm or words. But you made the pretense, I snapped, jumping to my feet. You built the lie. How am I supposed to trust who you are now when every moment since our first date was fake? Malik froze, silent. And in that silence, something darker dawned on me. My mother. My voice trembled. She pushed this marriage. She told me you were perfect. She said love would come with time. She manipulated me. He didn't have to answer. The truth was already in his eyes. And that broke something much deeper inside me. Not anger. Not even pain. Betrayal. From the person closest to me. My own mother. Get out, I whispered. Malik's jaw tightened. Aisha, please give me a chance. I said get out. My voice cracked like glass. Not tomorrow. Not later. Now. He hesitated, then nodded. At the door he paused, placing a small paper on the table. I'll be at my brother's. If you decide to talk. He gave one last look. Please forgive me. When the door closed, silence swallowed the condo whole. I sank onto the sofa, folded into myself, and cried until my ribs hurt. I cried for the illusions I lost, the trust that shattered, the mother I suddenly didn't recognize, and the foolish girl inside me who thought this marriage was a beginning, not a trap. Time blurred. Maybe an hour passed. Maybe more. Eventually, I dragged myself to the bathroom, washed my face, peeled off the wedding dress, and left it crumpled on the floor like a torn promise. I put on a simple nightgown Malik had placed in the closet, another reminder of how carefully he prepared for this marriage built on lies. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Every thought hurt. Should I leave? Should I forgive him? Should I go back to the woman who orchestrated all this? The phone buzzed. Mom. Of course. I declined. She called again. Declined. Then came the message. Aisha, why aren't you answering? Call me. Please. I hurled the phone away. Nothing was okay. Not her plan. Not this marriage. Not the version of me she kept trying to shape. Eventually, sleep dragged me down. I dreamt of a wedding filled with faceless guests. Malik stood at the altar with his mouth sewn shut. I tried to scream, but no sound came. I woke to a knock. It was past noon. I dragged myself to the door and peered through the peephole. Mom. Groceries in hand. Concern on her face. Of course she wouldn't stop. I opened the door. She rushed in. Aisha, what's wrong? You look terrible. Where's Malik? I walked to the kitchen without answering. The kettle hissed to life. Mom hovered behind me like a shadow. Aisha, you're scaring me. What happened? I turned, and whatever she saw in my eyes made her step back. Malik can speak, I said flatly. He was never mute. And you knew. Her face drained of color. Is it true? I demanded. Were you part of this deception? Did you arrange my entire life like I was a child you could place like furniture? Mom crumpled against the counter, covering her face. Aisha, I can explain. Then explain, I said, sitting down. Explain why my mother chose lies over honesty. Explain why you manipulated me. Mom took a long breath, staring out the window before speaking. She told me everything, her friendship with Malik's parents, how she worried about my loneliness, how she believed Malik was a good man, how she wanted me settled, how Malik came to her after his divorce, broken, terrified, and unsure of dating again, how the Mute Act was his idea, and how she agreed. A test for me. A test for him. A test for a marriage I never asked for. I listened, numb. Mom, I whispered. You forgot to ask me. You forgot I have a right to choose. She reached for me, but I pulled away. I need space, I said. I need time. I don't know if I can forgive you. Not today. She nodded, tears streaming. I love you, Aisha. Please remember that. She left quietly. Hours later, my friend Shayla arrived. Mom had called her worried. I let Shayla in, told her everything, the lie, the plan, the manipulation. That's insane, she breathed. They broke your trust. What are you going to do? I don't know, I whispered. Shayla held my hand. Aisha, what you want matters. Not Malik. Not your mom. You. Her words steadied something inside me. That night, after she left, I stared again at the paper Malik left behind. Should I call? Hear him out? Start closure? Or something else? I dialed. He answered instantly. Aisha. I need you to come, I said. We need to talk. No lies. He arrived in 17 minutes. We sat again, distance between us, but not the broken chasm of yesterday. Start from the beginning, I said. Everything. He told me about his ex-wife, the affair, the betrayal, the messy divorce, losing half of everything he built, rebuilding from scratch, and how fear had twisted into distrust. He told me how Mom reassured him I was honest, grounded, real. How he was drawn to me but terrified. How he thought pretending to be mute would expose who I truly was. And how he didn't expect to actually care for me. You were patient, he said softly. You treated me like a person, not someone broken. You talked to me even when I couldn't answer. I never meant to hurt you, Aisha. How do I know you're telling the truth now? I whispered. You lied for 6 months. He knelt, taking my hands. I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I'm willing to earn it. Honestly, slowly, however long it takes. I didn't pull away, but I didn't say yes. I need time, I said. He nodded, stood up, and left. And this time, I didn't cry. Days passed. Shayla supported me every evening. Mom kept calling. Malik didn't. But every night, a bouquet of white roses, my favorite, appeared at my doorstep. On the 5th day, I finally stepped outside, trying to breathe. At a cafe window, I spotted Malik across the street, talking on his phone. He looked tired, human, hurt. Not a villain, just someone broken in a different way. It didn't excuse anything, but it explained everything. That evening, I called him again. Come over, I said. We need to talk. Really talk. He arrived. We sat closer this time, not far apart. I've thought a lot, I said. About myself, you, and this marriage. I can't just forgive you today. Trust doesn't rebuild overnight. He nodded, eyes steady. But, I continued slowly, I don't want to throw away something that could be real, just because it started wrong. His breath caught. So here's what I propose, I said. We start over. From scratch. Like strangers meeting for the first time. No lies. No pretenses. Total honesty. Malik's eyes softened, hope flickering. And this time, I added quietly, we do it on my terms. We talked for hours that night, really talked. For the first time, without lies, without walls, without the quiet performance that had defined our entire marriage. I told Malik everything I feared, everything I doubted, everything I still struggled to understand. And he listened, truly listened, like every word I said mattered. When he finally spoke, his voice was steady. Aisha, thank you. Thank you for giving me a chance after everything. Don't thank me yet, I said quietly. I'm not promising forgiveness. I'm not promising a happy ending. This is just an attempt. A beginning. I'll take that, he murmured. And I'll earn the rest. That night, for the first time, I saw a side of him that had been hidden beneath the silence. He told me about his childhood, his parents, the first business he started with nothing but determination, and the dreams he abandoned along the way. He admitted he was scared of heights, that he once wanted to be an architect, and that autumn was his favorite season because it reminded him of picking mushrooms with his parents in the woods. And I told him about the real me, the Aisha who loved dancing though she was terrible at it, the Aisha who dreamed of writing a novel, the Aisha who hated lies more than anything. He nodded slowly. I know, he said. That's why I'm terrified of hurting you again. In the weeks that followed, something fragile but precious began to grow between us. Trust didn't come easily, but we tried every single day. We went to restaurants, theaters, parks, the same places we used to go when he pretended to be mute. But now he talked, laughed, argued, teased. For the first time I heard the sound of his true voice. Deep, warm, a little rough like gravel, and strangely comforting. Still, the past didn't loosen its grip so easily. 2 weeks later, I met my mother to finally confront the truth. She sat at the cafe table twisting a napkin, looking small, tired, and guilty. "Aisha, I'm sorry," she whispered. "I never meant to hurt you." "You didn't ask what I wanted," I said quietly. "You decided for me." Tears filled her eyes as she spoke of my father's illness, the helplessness she felt, the fear that I would repeat her fate and lose everything to love. "Love wasn't enough to save him," she whispered. "I thought stability mattered more." "Mom, Dad didn't die because of love," I said softly, taking her hand. "He died because life is cruel sometimes. You did everything you could." She broke down then, crying for the past she couldn't change, the guilt she carried, the mistakes she made out of fear. I hugged her, letting years of unspoken pain finally melt away. "I forgive you," I whispered. "But from now on, trust me. Let me live my life." She nodded, still crying. "I promise." A month passed. Malik and I didn't live like husband and wife, we lived like roommates trying to build something from scratch. He made my coffee every morning, left good morning notes on the fridge, and helped around the house without being asked. I appreciated it, but trust takes time, and my heart was still cautious. Then one evening the doorbell rang. When I opened it, a woman stood there, beautiful, polished, expensive from head to toe. Her gaze slid over me with cold assessment. "I'm Chloe," she said, her smile sharp as glass. "Malik's ex-wife." My stomach twisted. Malik appeared behind me, his hand resting protectively on my shoulder. "What do you want, Chloe?" She stepped closer. "You know what I want. A second chance. What we had was real, Malik. You can't erase 5 years." He shook his head firmly. "You ended it. You betrayed me. There's nothing left." But Chloe wasn't done. "If you ever change your mind, I'll be waiting." She left, but the damage lingered. Because when she asked if he loved me, Malik hesitated. That hesitation shattered something inside me. Later, he held my hands and said softly, "I didn't hesitate because of her. I hesitated because I don't know if I deserve to use the word love, after lying to you for 6 months." And I believed him. But Chloe wasn't finished. 2 weeks later, her message flashed across Malik's phone. "I can't stop thinking about you. Please meet me." My heart froze. He showed me the messages, every single one from her, none answered by him. And right in front of me, he blocked her number on both our phones. "I choose you, Aisha," he said quietly. "Not her. Not the past." I wanted to trust him. I really did. But life wasn't ready to give us peace. Because a week later, an envelope appeared in our mailbox. Inside were photos, Malik and Chloe smiling, laughing, kissing. A perfect life frozen in time. And a note. "He was happy with me. Can you give him the same?" My heart cracked. "What are we even building, Malik?" I whispered. "Can you really forget her?" He stepped closer. "Aisha, tell me what you need. Tell me how to prove myself." I thought long and hard. "Introduce me to your family," I said finally. "Let me see who you are through the people who raised you." He nodded. "Okay. They've been wanting to meet you." And so we did. His parents welcomed me with warmth I didn't expect. His mother held my hands and said, "All people make mistakes, dear. What matters is what they do to fix them. My son is trying. Give him a chance." Her voice stayed with me the entire drive home. But the moment we arrived at our building, we saw her. Chloe, sitting by the door, disheveled, shaking, nothing like the flawless woman I met before. "Malik, please," she whispered. "I need to talk." "We have nothing left to discuss," he said. Her voice broke. "I'm pregnant." Silence swallowed everything. I stared at her, my breath trapped in my chest. "Pregnant? With whose child?" "It's not Malik's," she whispered, tears flooding her face. "It's the man I left him for. He abandoned me. I have no one else." Chloe sat on the floor by our door, knees pulled to her chest, trembling as the truth spilled out of her in broken fragments. When he found out I was pregnant, he disappeared. No goodbye. No explanation. He just vanished. Her voice cracked, and for the first time I didn't see Malik's ex-wife. I saw a woman who had lost everything, and was terrified. I ruined everything, she whispered. I had you, Malik. A man who loved me. And I threw it away for excitement and adventure. And now look at me, pregnant, alone. Abandoned by a man who didn't even have the decency to say goodbye. Tears streaked her face as she lifted her eyes to us. I'm not asking you to come back. I know that chapter is over. I just needed you to know how deeply I regret everything. She stood shakily, wiping her tears with the back of her hand. I'm sorry for disturbing your life. I won't come near you again. I hope you find happiness. Real happiness, the kind I couldn't give you. Then she walked away. Malik and I stood there in silence, unable to process the storm she had left behind. I finally asked, do you want to help her? He shook his head slightly. Not go back to her. Never that. But she was in my life for 5 years, Aisha. I can't pretend she doesn't exist when she's suffering. That's not who I am. He was right. Despite everything, Chloe was a human being in need. Ignoring her would make us lose a part of our humanity. Fine, I nodded. Help her. But I want transparency. If you talk to her, help her, meet her, I need to know. No secrets. Malik hugged me tightly. Complete transparency. I promise. A calm after the storm. The next week was quiet. Chloe didn't show up again. She sent short messages now and then, thanking Malik for helping her financially, and he showed me every single one. Every transfer. Every detail. No secrets. No shadows. No lies. Malik and I grew closer naturally, gently. We cooked dinner together, watched movies, walked through the park like a normal couple, and slowly it began to feel right. One evening, as we sat on the sofa after dinner, Malik turned toward me. Aisha, I want to tell you something important. My heart clenched. That tone always signaled a confession from the past. But instead he took my hand and said, I love you. My breath caught. He continued softly, I know I've said it before, but this time there are no doubts, no conditions, no fears. I love your strength, your kindness, your honesty, the way your eyes light up when you talk about your students. Isha, I love you. Tears blurred my vision. No one had ever loved me so openly, so sincerely. You don't have to say it back, he whispered. Trust grows slowly. I just needed you to know. I touched his cheek, my voice trembling. Thank you for your honesty. And for not rushing me. We have time, he murmured. Our whole lives. I believed him. But life wasn't done testing us. 2 lines that changed everything. A month later I felt dizzy, nauseous, weak. I blamed stress at first, until the symptoms didn't go away. At the clinic, the doctor placed the test in my hand. 2 lines. Pregnant. My heart raced. I wasn't living with Malik as a wife yet. Emotionally, I was still healing. How? I whispered. The doctor smiled kindly. You're married. Were you using protection? I flushed. Only once. That one night after the wedding. The night built on a lie, before I knew he could speak. I didn't think it could happen from one time, I murmured. It happens, she said. Congratulations. You'll be a mother in 7.5 months. I walked out of the hospital in a daze. Pregnant. With Malik's child. And our relationship still fragile. How would I tell him? When Malik came home, he saw my face immediately. Aisha, what's wrong? I need to tell you something. Something that will change everything. His hands closed over mine. Whatever it is, we'll face it together. I'm pregnant. The world froze. His eyes widened, his breath caught. Then he stood up, pulled me into his arms, and held me so tightly I could barely breathe. This is the best day of my life, he whispered, crying openly. Aisha, we're going to have a baby. Our baby. You're not scared. I whispered. Of course I'm scared, he said softly. Scared I won't be enough. But more than anything, I'm happy. This baby gives us a real chance. A new beginning. His sincerity warmed something inside me. Something tender. Something hopeful. I don't want you to stay just because of the baby, he added. If you're not ready for us, tell me. I looked into his eyes, honest, vulnerable, devoted. I want to stay, I whispered. Not just because of the baby, 'cause I think I'm starting to love you. He held me as if I were the most precious thing in his world. A new beginning. The pregnancy brought challenges, exhaustion, fear, uncertainty, but also quiet joy. Malik attended every doctor's visit. He read parenting books. He painted the nursery by hand. His mother cried with happiness. My mother celebrated loudly, convinced she had been right all along. Chloe gave birth eventually and stopped taking Malik's help, having found a job and stability. Do you think she'll manage? I asked. I think so, Malik said gently. She's stronger than she knows. By my 7th month, Malik and I finally started sharing a room, sharing a bed, sharing a life. He held me at night, whispering, "Thank you for giving me a chance." And for the first time, I believed our marriage was real. Nova's arrival. Labor started 2 weeks early. Pain ripped through me like fire in the night. Malik stayed calm, unbelievably calm. He helped me dress, grabbed the hospital bag, called the taxi, held my hand the entire way. 14 long hours later, our daughter's cry split the air. "It's a girl," the nurse said. "Tiny pink perfect." "Nova," I whispered. "Our new beginning." Malik cried as he held her, his tears dripping onto her tiny blanket. A family finally. Motherhood was exhausting, terrifying, beautiful. Malik woke at night so I could sleep. He rocked Nova for hours. He learned to change diapers faster than I did. "You're an amazing mother," he said one day. "And you're an amazing father," I whispered back. We healed together. We learned together. We loved together. He apologized for the lie that started us. I forgave him, truly forgave him. The past couldn't be changed, but the future was ours to build. A second proposal. 2 years later, Malik surprised me with plane tickets to Paris. His parents offered to watch Nova. And in Paris, under a sunset glowing over the Seine, Malik knelt down. "Aisha," he said, opening a small velvet box. "We're already married, but I want to do this right. No lies, no secrets. Will you marry me again? Not because of a plan, but by your own choice." Tears blurred my vision. "Yes," I whispered. 1,000 times yes. When we returned home, Nova ran into our arms laughing. And I knew. This was happiness. Not perfect. Not effortless. But real. Years later, Nova grew into a bright, joyful little girl. Our home was full of laughter, small messes, bedtime stories, and love. Chloe rebuilt her life and remarried a good man. We even attended the wedding, a sign of true healing. One day, little Nova asked, "Mommy, Daddy, do you love each other?" Malik and I shared a smile. "Yes," I said, "with all our hearts." "And how did you meet?" I hesitated. Malik squeezed my hand. "We met in a very unusual way," he said gently. "But the important part is that we learned to trust each other. And now we're a family." That was enough for her. She ran off to play happy. The truth I want her to learn. When she grows older, I'll tell her the full story. Not to shame us, but to teach her. Love isn't perfect. People make mistakes. Trust can break and be rebuilt. What matters isn't the beginning. It's what you choose afterward. Every day I choose Malik. And he chooses me. That choice, not fate, not luck, is what makes our love real. And every night, as I watch Malik holding Nova, reading her a story or kissing her forehead, I know I made the right choice. I stayed. I forgave. I chose love. And love chose me back.